Lisa, it's so great to have you on the show, Concierge Selling System today. You were the first person to reply to the post of my first podcast. And I'm like, let's go, let's do this.
You're groundbreaking and pioneering, and it's just what people need to hear and see. So
Yeah,
thank you.
as you know, it comes from our commitment, and we got related earlier this week. And what came through when you were, introducing yourself was your commitment to really being of service and helping people and really getting to know them and what their wants and needs are, and doing it on another whole nother level. It also sounded like Concierge was a conduit to doing that.
I love Concierge.
So that was just, it's our commitment, right, as Compass Realtors to be of service. So thank you again for being here today.
My pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your family, your passions, fun facts, little points about you.
One of the fun facts that people may not know is that I got my first dog when I was 50 years old. My dad tried when I was little. I'm an only child. I'm from Virginia Beach, and he was the baby of three and always had dogs. He had a Doberman Pinscher named Cindy, if you can imagine that. Not
Doberman Pinscher named Cindy.
I never really had a dog. He brought a couple home. It just didn't work out. And then when my kids turned almost 13, they said, when we are 13, I had twin 13-year-olds and an 11-year-old. And they said, can we please have a dog? We will be responsible and help kids completely, what I call benevolently manipulate their parents. And I fell right into it. And now I can't imagine life without dogs. And I'm not 50 anymore.
So cool. So tell me a little bit about, tell me a little bit about your passions in life.
My passions, honestly, I know this is going to sound super corny and very cliche, especially for a real estate podcast, but my passions really are people. Up with a bunch of steel magnolias, really strong, beautiful, golden-hearted women in the South. Yeah. Everyone is welcome. I'm a child, but I still love having people around, whether it's the holidays, a party, everything should be celebrated, personally, professionally. And that's how I grew up. So my passion is people. As we talked earlier this week with respect to real estate, it isn't hard to love a home, especially a beautiful home, a home that's beautiful to someone. As our CEO loves to say, it is our gift, our passion to help everyone find their place in the world. True. It's not hard. What's hard is the relationship, being able to let somebody really have you come into their life. And I'm not talking the financials and diagnose their wallet. It's getting to know them. What are their passions and how can you
we overlook that a lot, right? We don't really
do.
And then we close and then we're like, gosh, what do I really know about my client? And I wish I did an exit interview, or wish I asked those questions along the way. When could I have done that? And you're second guessing everything, but you're absolutely right. How do you do that?
Initially, my background really is public relations and marketing. That's how I started back in '88 with just a little boutique firm. I started in Norfolk, Virginia, after I graduated school from Boston. And it's really just to put people at ease. And obviously people will say their favorite topic is themselves because it's what we know best. And it's what really comes easy to talk about. So I like to really find out. I eventually got into broadcast and journalism, and I wanted to find out. I do ask a lot of questions. So I like to put people at ease and just say, okay, let's put the real estate aside. Tell me about you. What's your story?
That's a good question, right? What's your story? Yeah.
What's your story? But even to get more specific is what makes you get up in the morning? And even we've all heard, what's your why? But to even go a little deeper, it's like, what makes you get up in the morning? I got to have my latte and I want to go for a walk, or getting a FaceTime from my kids, or seeing what's happening in the stock market, or did my flowers die in the overnight freeze last night? What is it? And mine, it's really just a drive for knowledge. I am an information junkie. And so
aggregator, we'll call it an information aggregator.
Oh, that's so much nicer. It's so much. I have that needle pointed on a pillow, and I don't needle point. I don't have a crafty bone in my body. I'm a stick figure girl. I'm not really a big math geek either, although somebody did say, unless it's the Nordstrom semi-annual sale and you put a dollar sign in front of it, she can do a number. But I really just love meeting people. Somebody
Yeah.
told me you could speak to a piece of driftwood and have a full
Yeah.
conversation.
On that note, you had a show. Can you tell us a little bit about your show?
I did. Thank you. I created this show, which was really a fluke. It ended up being on ESPN. Of all the stations, of all the types of networks I would think of, that's not who I pitched. I wanted to do something where it was a little bit of Oprah and People Magazine and Wall Street Journal, Business Week all rolled together. And I was going to be on primetime radio talk. And I pitched it. I made a demo. I spent money. I got an engineer. Nobody wanted it. So what do you do when you're completely rejected? You either go eat or you have a cocktail, or maybe you do both. And so I was buying a bottle of wine for a friend. I had a dinner party that night. And I see these engineers coming in with tables and chairs to this most stunning liquor store. And I was like, what's going on here? And they're like, oh, we're doing a pre-Nuggets broadcast. Nuggets are the NBA team here in Denver. So I said, oh, they're like, oh, are you into radio? Are you like one of our guests? I'm like, not yet. And so it was ESPN. So I said, I happen to have this demo in the trunk of my car.
No way, right then and there, you pitched
I
it.
did. So they picked up the idea of my show. They gave me 13 weeks. It's called Live with Lisa. And at the end of about 11 weeks, they said, okay, we'd love to give you another 13 weeks.
And it was for women, just to put in context.
Yes, it was for women. It was something that everybody could listen to on a Saturday or Sunday morning, driving your kids to sports, or you're going to the gym, or you're meeting buddies for
I think that's ingenious.
basketball game. So my tagline was bringing women over to the lighter side of sports and men over to the lighter side of women. And yes, we do have a lighter side. You just have to know where to look. And it was a blast. It was great. I went all over the country doing different things. I was like the guy at the circus who's got the monkey on his shoulder and he's doing the accordion and he's banging the tambourine. I had to get my own sponsors and I produced it and I wrote it and got to keep whatever was left, but it was a blast. I absolutely loved every minute of it and I miss it. So this being on a podcast is a huge.
You picked the right industry to go into, because we have to do a lot of things at once, right? Run a business and do the marketing, the finances of this, of that. So you picked the right business. I'm sure there are synergies between the two, right? Would you say?
It is. It's a great thread to being in front of people and being a people person. I think you can learn any specific industry, but you have to be relatable. There's got to be a foundation that you build off of. And PR was PR and people were it.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's such a great story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And so let's talk about concierge. So tell us about why you're so passionate about concierge.
I am passionate about concierge because I helped a family pull a rabbit out of their hat. They had probably one of the most beautiful properties I'd ever seen in an exclusive area.
Right.
And I knew the adult children. The mother had passed away. There was a grandchild that she was raising in the home, late teens, early 20s. And when she passed, he invited people over and pretty much destroyed it. And so they were unable to sell it. And it was a very unfortunate situation. There was meth involved. And I had never had that experience. So not only was it my first experience with a luxury home stigmatized and ruined by meth, but it was also my first experience with Compass Concierge. And wow, did they not just impress me, but it helped me look amazing in front of these sellers, because when you're going for a 1 million plus home, now you have investors thinking they can come in and steal it for half. And we came almost close to what they wanted their original sale price to be because of what concierge could offer.
So that was beyond a refresh. Now you're talking about fixing and repairing. Was it a combination of fixing, repairing, and refreshing? What did you actually have to do to the house, out of curiosity?
Gut the home. So first of all,
oh my God, really?
Because it's meth. So two chemists came in.
And because of smell.
Not even just, you can't, it was in the air. It is,
Yeah.
the inspector comes in and swipes it, and
Wow.
he says, we can't say, we've got to shut this house down. So you've got, the caution tape, you've got the red skeleton on the front door,
Wow.
and my God, the neighbors were having a little gossipy field day.
Oh,
And
sure.
the older brother in his late 40s, early 50s, I told them, I said, you need to go to your neighbor and you need to shut them down because this is not okay. It's an invasion of your privacy and
Hmm.
it's unfair. So we had to not just combat what was happening in the home, literally taking it down to the studs, pulling up the carpet, taking out the HVAC unit because it had gotten all up into the ductwork. But now we're dealing with issues outside the home and the gossip in the neighborhood and the county. The county's got all, so if you're going to go in, which they highly frown upon, you have to be in your hazmat suit and a mask and gloves.
Wow. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to top that. Was that your first intro to the power of concierge? Or,
If
or
you're
was
gonna
that like the
go,
best of? That's like the best of. That's crazy.
if you're going, you go all in.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
honored that they called me to say, can you,
Yeah.
you think you
Yeah.
can
They
sell this?
called you to save the day and you made a real difference for them.
Really, Compass Concierge saved the day because they gave
Yeah.
us tools and the platform. They were
Yeah.
extremely easy to deal with. They sent my sellers the little black card to use to pay for things. And
Oh, wow. Yeah.
if there was a vendor who didn't take a card, they wrote a check and
Right.
they
Right.
repaid.
Because what people don't know is home sellers don't realize is that a lot of these contractors don't want to take a card, right?
Yeah,
They don't want to take a credit card or debit card. So the fact
correct.
that home sellers could cut a check from the user interface is really powerful, right? Or they can put the funds in their bank account and pay the contractors via Venmo or Cash App. So that's really
Correct.
powerful. The flexibility is unbelievable, really. I think
Flexibility is huge. And what's really terrific is that the seller doesn't have to go out of pocket to get this done. And
yeah,
normally, if not always, the home sells for more than they had originally planned on, because even in a perfect home, if you just want to boost up the bathroom or fix your kitchen cabinets or pull up carpet and put down luxury vinyl plank or manufactured hardwood, just
yeah,
make it into the 21st century. A lot of people don't have $8, $10, $15,000 to refresh a home.
yeah,
So the beauty of it as is at the end, at the closing table,
yeah,
Compass does their soft pull to take back whatever you have used, and you don't have to use the entire amount that Compass
right,
Concierge allows you to use, which is beautiful. And
right.
you're here to sell your home. That's
Yeah.
even the biggest highlight.
It is so powerful. And then when clients realize how powerful it is, I had a client wish they took the full amount just to have the option. They
Right.
took half the amount and wish they had taken the full amount. And anyway, it all worked out. So that's awesome. What a great story.
And what's really interesting is that I found out that when I did an open house, I could, and one of my other clients had dogs. I could use, really, the seller could use Compass Concierge dollars to pay their dog walker or dog sitter to get the dogs out of the home for the few hours we did the open house. It doesn't
Wow.
matter how you use it. There probably
Yeah.
are one or two little caveats, but to think of, wait, I can take care of my dog while you do this open house, and it's
I'm
part
so
of
glad you shared that because I see that on the other alternative uses of concierge and it says dog walker there, right? And I'm so glad that you shared that because that actually did happen.
and people need it. People,
Yeah,
I'd
that's
love
true.
to sell my house. I want to have an open house. I have 3 dogs and I need to do this. I'm like, Compass has the answer for you.
Yeah, and let's face it, I mean, we were talking about dogs earlier. A lot of people have dogs. Thank you, COVID.
Very true.
Very cool. That's a very powerful story, and you're very clear about the benefits of concierge. And that's so awesome because we want to share that with our family, our Compass family, so that they're empowered, so that they can get more listings, hopefully have more seller conversations and reignite old ones with their sphere of influence and let them know what we have, right?
Yes, 100%.
So let me ask you, in terms of tactics, are you actively pitching concierge? Do you have any particular ways of pitching it? Anything? Just wondering if you have any, how do you pitch it? to clients, either at a listing presentation or even just mention it at coffee or amongst friends or sphere of influence? Like, what do you advise?
I love to do a social post, which
Yeah.
a lot of people have recognized. I put it on LinkedIn, Instagram, because just to say, and with part of our marketing tools, again, what Compass offers
Yeah.
all of us. And so just to let people know this is out there, thinking about selling your home or thinking about that remodel, don't come out of pocket, whatever. So it's the bringing them in. Oh, tell me more. Also,
More hooks, more the hook.
and when I also go to a listing presentation, or even somebody's like, can you just stop by my house and just take a look and give me an idea of what you think? I'm thinking of maybe selling in the spring. What do you think I should do? So you have to be very careful because homes are
You're right.
emotional.
Yes.
The emotional price tag, think, oh, my home is worth $2 million. I'm like, it's actually worth maybe 850, maybe 1.2.
That's happened. Yes.
And so you have to be really careful diagnosing someone's
Yeah.
home. But then there's a time that I had where people were actually leaving. They were not just moving, they were moving out of the country and going to be with their children in Australia. So they were selling the home. We did a walkthrough for quite a bit. And when we went upstairs, I'm thinking, okay, 1995 is alive and well on the second floor. They did a little bit of the kitchen, a little bit of the bathroom, some of the floors, but it wasn't a complete redo. I wanted to be very careful how I said, why did you take out the double sink and only put in a single sink? And what you never know what people are thinking. The good news is that the plumbing was still there. So if we wanted to put that second sink back upstairs in the shared bedrooms, we
Mhm.
could. But one of the things I told them not to do was pull up their carpet because it was going to cost them money. Let's clean it, let's stretch it, let's have it looking the best it can be. However, let's take a look in a couple of other places. So it's
How do you get their buy-in as you're tactfully making observations and making suggestions? Like you said that you had to be careful, right? So are you asking them what they think they should do? Are you waiting to hear their response to what you're saying?
yes, yes. I
See if
have
they're
to.
open to it. You're reading their body language.
Yes, it's like mood matching your audience. If somebody's
Yeah.
speaking really fast, then they don't want you to go at a turtle pace. You need to keep up. And at the same time, if they're more thoughtful in their speech and they're on the fence, they're coming to us as the professionals, as the
Yeah.
ones who really know. And because I have, as my father, blessed memory, would say, been around the barn a little bit, I have GC'd a lot of projects in my own home. And at the same time, I'll also tell them, if you want to do ABC, I have a wonderful vendor list. And I always make a promise, because I've been in my home since 1998, that I will never send anyone to your home who hasn't worked in my home. And I think that gives people a lot of trust.
So you are recommending contractors?
Yes, and I believe
Yeah.
not only was I born on July 3rd, and 3 is my favorite number,
Oh, you're-
so I give them a list and I
Yeah.
say, in no particular order, these are my top 3. Your brother could be like the best handyman in your county or your neighborhood. I want to be their trusted advisor to say, look, here's what I recommend. Here's what I would do. Here's who I've used. And if I haven't used them personally in my home, I know for a fact I've seen their work. I've seen the before and after.
Okay. Yeah.
And so
Okay.
it's just a sense of trust, and
Right.
it's authenticity. And
Right.
if it's a type of a repair or an upgrade that I haven't done, then also, as Robert Refkin likes to say, collaborate without ego. Go find that vendor and find the value in it and find the reviews. And really, I like to
Sure.
vet them for my buyers and my sellers, no matter what side of the deal we're on. Because
Yeah.
number one, like you said in the very beginning, we are here to serve. It's
Yeah.
not, here's the list of numbers, let me know what you think. I'm giving it to them, and I'm giving them the option. Hey, do you want to sit here? I'll put them on speakerphone. We'll call them together. Do you want me to make the calls and get the
That's
yes?
amazing. So you're really hands-on. That's so
I
powerful.
am. I take them
Yeah.
under my wing, and they're like my 4th, 5th, 8th child.
So what do you think we could do better, right, as an organization or as realtors in terms of using Compass Concierge as a way to start more conversations? Do you have any particular marketing tactics now? I know you mentioned social. Do you do any other type of marketing? Do you think there are forms of marketing that would work? Just we need to put those pieces together. What are your thoughts on being able to generate more conversations, whether it's with new people or with our sphere of influence? What have you had any ideas in terms of what we could do better?
I think before and after is a great way. It's a show me. Don't just
Yeah,
tell me.
right.
Don't tell me what you know and tell me what Compass Concierge
Sure.
offers. Show
Yeah,
me. And
yeah,
so we have those, like in part of our like Compass Academy, there's
sure.
videos and things. And I also have before and after things on projects that have been done. And I can say, you know what? If you're game, hop in my car or follow me. What works for you? I'll call the people who did this project in their home and ask them, would you mind if we stopped by for 15, 20 minutes?
Oh,
Or
wow.
can I come by and
Yeah,
take pictures if it's
yeah.
something that's new and ongoing? I think taking away the fear, what can I expect? I think people are nervous. I don't think it's even just with the remodel, or am I going to get my money out of it at the sale? Is it worth it?
Hmm.
And so there's several points of value, apps and stories, and within real estate, functional obsolescence is also something we really need to share.
And I just want to clarify, you're just south of Denver, correct?
I'm actually, yes, I'm about 15 minutes outside of downtown Denver in suburbs of, they call it the Denver Tech Center.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm 45 minutes from the first ski slope, maybe even 30, depending how fast you
Oh,
want to drive.
wow.
4 hours from Aspen, 2 hours from Vail. A lot of people will ski in the morning and then come down in the afternoon and play golf because the weather systems and
Wow.
the warmth in the air is so different in at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And at the same time, some people love that last 4 o'clock run. So God bless. I'm a beach girl. What can I say?
Okay. Is that the reason why you have one foot in New York? I don't know. Like, why do you have one foot in New York?
I my roots are, I was born in New York for a hot second, but
Uh-huh.
raised in Virginia Beach in the beach, and then went to
Uh-huh.
Boston,
We've been
lived
there. Yep. Great. We were
uh,
actually in Virginia Beach. We sometimes we stop in Virginia Beach on our way to the Outer Banks.
and
Very
I still
cool.
have a lot of family there. But New York is, I'm a city girl. I absolutely love my mountains, but I miss the water. I've been here 26 years. And when I first moved here, I was like, okay, I need to go back to the East Coast at least once a quarter. And I have a lot of family there in the Mid-Atlantic, as well as New Jersey and
Uh-huh.
Westchester, Long Island.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was always my hope and dream, one of those, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And I have to tell you, even after 168 hours taking the Colorado state boards and the national boards, New York with 77 hours, whoo, that was tough. But New York is tough, but it is also so much fun. And especially when just last week, when I got my very first young man who I worked with other people, but my very first young man who was moving from his Denver office to his New York office. And we
Mm.
found him an apartment, and he was over the moon. Literally, I was in town. I looked for him. We did FaceTime walkthroughs, which I also do for people who live outside of Colorado. They're looking for a
Sure.
mountain
Oh,
house,
that's
or
fun.
they're,
I enjoy doing those.
it's great. And it saves them a plane ticket. And
Yeah.
you're physically right there with them. And there's really not more that they could see if they were right there with you. And we can knock out a lot of properties doing FaceTime
Yeah,
walkthroughs of
for
town
sure.
buyers. It makes a difference. And we did a walkthrough on a Thursday, and Tuesday, actually, just this past Tuesday, the apartment came through for him, and
Oh,
he's
wow.
this
That's
weekend. He
amazing.
is flying
Congratulations.
out. It's so fulfilling. And a lot of people have asked, what is your most exciting transaction? Obviously, we love the ones with a lot of zeros. We never turn those down. But I have to say, this past summer, I got an incredible 36-year-old young woman who has been renting forever. And she said, I don't know if I can afford my own place, but I am just tired of renting. And I read your blog on your website. talking about the cost of waiting. Can you help me?
Oh,
And
wow.
I
That's
will tell
powerful.
you, she was qualified and since we don't know her name and all that stays anonymous, but I will throw out the number
Yeah.
that she was qualified for a mortgage of $250,000. And
Mhm.
people are saying, what do you get? I will find your needle in a haystack because as you are also privy to at Compass, we are privy to a lot of off-market private exclusive properties that are
Right.
available to the public, but they're available to Compass realtors. And
Right.
so I found her a private exclusive, one bedroom, one
Wow.
bath. That's all she needed with parking. And it was
Wow.
refreshed inside. It looked like this beautiful white farmhouse with the black hardware, and the appliances had been elevated. And we closed and she cried. I cried. And she said, I never
Wow.
have to rent again.
Wow.
That has been in all these years my most favorite transaction. It
Yeah.
is the one that felt the most good. And I love working with these young families. I love working with these young kids. It means so much because I remember getting into my very first property because
Yeah.
it meant everything to have ownership and equity.
What can we do to get you more business? Your commitment is so clear, and the fact that you're willing to work with anyone who is going to put their trust in you and give you an opportunity, it's clear that you're going to go to the end of the earth for them. What can
Thank
we do to make it clear to people that you serve that Colorado, New York market? What what would you like to see happen? How can we help you?
Thank you, Sean. I really appreciate that. I say it all starts with hello. Have a conversation. I know that many of us know at least 4 or 5 realtors. And I have to choose my best friend, or I have to choose, granted, if it's a sister, an aunt, an uncle, I can't sit across from them at Thanksgiving and tell them I'm selling my home or I'm looking to buy something and I don't use them. Well, they'll never speak to me again. Understand those relationships. I really do. And I never want to get between a family member or between best friends. At the same time, I want to say, even if you just need information, if you just want a resource, what is the value? What are the facts? I actually had the privilege when I was in New York a couple of weeks ago to listen to a panel where Gail King from the CBS Morning Show was on, and I was in the
Mm.
third row, and she said
Oh,
something
wow.
so impactful, which was, you're entitled to your opinions. Okay. And this is very true for real estate. I think this, and the mortgage rates and this, and I don't know. And this builder and this story and this neighborhood, you're entitled to your opinions 100%, but you're not entitled to make up your own facts. And so
Mm.
I just ask, call me, talk to me. Again, if I don't know the answers, I will find them for you because authenticity is all I have. That's
Yeah.
all I have. I didn't fall into a legacy family of realtors. I am not on a team of 20 people who I turn to. I am my own team, and I'm
Yeah.
bringing people on with me as I go through the years. And I've got a wonderful, very sweet group of an architect for 30 years who built in Aspen, a 28-year veteran who's very good with duplexes and multiple family buildings.
Mm.
Come to me for information. Let's create a relationship. And from there, you, buyer or seller or both, decide if you'd like to work with me. And I hope the answer will always be yes. And if it isn't, what do I need to do to get you to yes? Because I'd love to work with them.
That's so powerful, very moving, very touching. Commitment is clear. You're such a powerful resource for anyone that is looking to move in or out of New York, right? So we're really committed that we help you,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
So we're going to take this interview and make these awesome bite-size clips for you so that you can start fresh conversations with new and, of course, existing clients and sphere of influence, and really help you because it's so clear.
That's a
Help
gift.
you.
I've never had anybody do that because I
Yeah.
literally shot from the hip.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
pray that people like you come into my life that collaborate and want to have this synergy where we can work together and refer to each other and help each other.
Yeah. In case you're wondering, my passion is soccer. I am a soccer coach. I'm a soccer coach for 10 years, boys high school rec league. And I can tell you one thing that I don't do. I don't like defense too much. I'm all about the offense. And so this is our effort to collaborate, be proactive, and help one another. So that's what we're doing with the
This is
concierge
huge.
program, with the concierge selling system. We are going to figure out how we can serve more people and help more people through collaborating and finding ways to start these new conversations.
I
So
mean, who
thank
does
you
that?
so much.
You're a pioneer, honestly, honest to God. I mean,
I'm not a pioneer. Compass is the pioneer, as you said earlier.
but
Compass.
you now have to listen to me, Sean. And you have to take the truth that comes for me to say, not many people do this. This is my pencil, this is my glass, this is my office. People don't like to share. And you are unique.
Yeah.
Grateful. Thank you.
There's a lot more to come. So excited. We're going to create systems that work. And believe me, we're going to make it work for you. So thank you so much for coming today and spending time with us. And I'm so excited to post this tomorrow on the concierge selling system, the workplace, and it's also going to be on YouTube. So I'll share that with you as well. So it'll be easy to find. And yeah, we're doing this. This is happening. So thank you so much. Let's stay connected. You're in my phone, you're in my email.
I got you, buddy. You are not escaping. You're not, I'm
gonna be with you for the next day or two, getting all this stuff together for you. So thanks so much.
Thank you,
Have
Sean.
a great Halloween and
Be safe.
talk soon. Okay. Thank you.